Some places, they like to just tape it. You can tape it right down here. It's just a nice quick reference guide, sorry, for any kind of issues with the panel. Now, first off, with the garbage chute, I did reprogram that smoke detector, so it will take a lot more to set it off. I talked with the girl that cleans the chute, and we kind of got on the same page that once a year when she cleans it, she'll open the rooftop hatch, and she'll even schedule it the same day that we're here, so that there shouldn't be any issues. Other than that, if there is a chance anybody else is working in the building that they might set off a smoke detector or anything, your best practice is to always phone the monitoring company first off. Let them know how long they'll be working in the building. That way, if a smoke detector does go into alarm, it doesn't send the fire trucks. If you wanted initial steps, so you didn't want the horns or anything ringing, you could hit this button here. That will disable the speakers. Once you do that, it'll beep here. Just hit your acknowledge button and it'll stop beeping. You can also disable the fan shutdowns and your fire doors. Once that's done, just hit acknowledge. And basically your system's disabled now. If an alarm still comes in, it will beep here and beep here only. If an alarm does come in, and the panel's normal, just hit your three main buttons, or acknowledge, signal silence. If the smoke is clear, just do a system reset, and if the alarm's clear, this red alarm light will also be clear. Are there any other questions? Anything that you want me to go over more in depth?
Goes off and you hit that reset there, is it on a timer, like, and if the sensor doesn't clear, will it come back on again? Like,
Yeah, if the sensor doesn't clear,
yeah,
then it'll go back into alarm.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, if an alarm comes in, your steps are hit acknowledge.
Yeah.
Your horns will still be going off, but you've acknowledged that you know there's an alarm in the
Right.
building, and then it will tell you whereabouts.
Yeah.
Once you know that the smoke is clear, or
Yeah.
if it's a false alarm, then you can hit signal silence, and then if the smoke is clear, just hit system
Yeah.
reset. Anything else? If you ever have any questions, we do have 24 hours a day. We have guys on call, and we're always willing to answer any questions. There's no dumb questions. We get all kinds of calls. So feel free at any time to give us a call and ask a question.
What will you charge us?
Nothing. Our guys like to talk.
Even at 3 in the morning?
Well, then maybe you'll get no. It's all good. Other than that, do you want me to go into the paging? The paging is pretty technical. You probably don't ever need to do the paging, but I can go over it for sure.
You mean telling everybody false alarm?
Yeah, well, so that's somewhat important. So I can show you that.
So those three there that you're disabling,
Mm-hmm.
those three, are we to disable those if we're having work in the building done, those three? And we will get the beep, and then you go over to this side and you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Now, again, I know Norm asked you, then if we silence it or acknowledge it, will it start to beep again after a period of time? If
no.
it's left.
If the alarm's in and you acknowledge it, it stays in until the system's reset or, yeah, until, or if another alarm. Everything else is still live in the building. So if another alarm comes in, then you kind of have to come and do the same steps, acknowledge, signal silence. And as far as these 3 disable buttons, I guess that's up to you guys if you want. If there's a very high possibility that they're gonna put in an alarm, then I would suggest disabling these 3 points. Most importantly, phone in secure tech, because you don't want the fire trucks to come, because that'll be a pretty big price.
So if, like the other day when I was trying to get that clarified with you, was the elevator shaft had signaled the alarm,
Okay,
but in what way could we handle that to bypass anything? Do we have to then bypass the whole system because the alarm stayed in?
okay,
Filled up with dirt,
yeah,
dust, and it stayed in until they cleaned it, which nobody realized at the time. But is it going to, we can't do anything to bypass if a detector of any sort in the building is detecting a problem, we then cannot bypass things, right? We
you
just
can.
have to shut down.
Yeah, you can. So if there's a very specific detector that you'd like disabled, say it goes into alarm, it'll show up with the label at the top. It'll say elevator shaft top,
Right.
and then it will give you 3 numbers on the bottom there. It'll say the L is for loop. It'll give you the loop number, either 1 or 2, and then detector number anywhere from 1 to 200. So those are important. And once you have the detector number that you want disabled, then you can go through this bottom section, and it kind of explains step by step how to disable a specific point. Anything else?
So once the guys have had a chance to go through there, if they want to phone and ask some questions for verification, they
Yeah,
can do that?
yeah, by all means, you can phone, even if you don't want to read it off of here, you can still phone us and we'll walk you through disabling it and enabling it. And if you wanted, we can even go on here right now and I can show you how to do that.
I think that probably there are 2 new guys on it. They would probably appreciate that.
You
very
bet.
much, plus anybody else that's,
Okay, let's pick a shaft top detector. So,
if you want to move up there.
it will bring up a code, the elevator shaft top will bring up to detector 60.
Trevor, do you want to go up closer?
So I don't know if you want this to go along with, or if you just want to watch me.
Yeah. Go back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, so you're gonna hit main menu, and then you're gonna wanna alter a status. So program alter status. And then the password, I think it's on there, let's see. It isn't, but I can write it on there.
Together.
Your password is 5 5s. So then you're gonna hit that and hit accept. It'll go through its steps, then hit alter status. And then your next step, you're gonna disable enable. And now you're selected on detector, and that's what we want to do. If you needed to change that from detector to module, you can hit this next or previous selection button. Or even this next point. Previous point. So we are going to be disabling loop, so the N00, that'll always stay 0. And then your loop will be loop 2, 0, 2, detector 60, so 0, 6, 0, hit accept. And then it'll tell you if it's already an alarm. Right now it's not, 0%. So we're gonna wanna disable that right here. And then it'll go through a warning. This will compromise fire protection, are you sure? Just hit yes. And it will disable. And then you just hit the back button. Once it's disabled, the panel will tell you that, just hit acknowledge. And you'll be able to see at the top here. So there's 0 fire alarms, 0 trouble, 0 supervisory, but there's one other event. And the other event shows up there. And so it says disabled smoke photo, elevator shaft, loop 2, detector 60. Do you want to go back? Do you want to do it yourself and re-enable it? No?
You know, I think what you've shown me, I think I'll be calling you.
Well, and that's fine, that's fine. It can get tricky, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I will re-enable that then.
Now, you wanna, this is gonna go in there?
Yeah, that I would suggest, that's the best practice. Any other questions about? If something comes up and we've left, feel free to phone us. Somebody will gladly help out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.